plaintiff, Chandra Acosta, says she's known the defendant for 20 years. And in 2006, she made a big mistake by having an affair with the defendant's husband. Chandra claims they lost contact after that, but reconnected after the defendant got shot. However, Chandra is suing her today for breach of contract. Defendant Katrina Gonzalez says her son is the one who walked in on his father having sex with Chandra. And even after he caught them, they denied the affair. Katrina claims Chandra destroyed her marriage, and nothing's been the same since then. She's countersuing for emotional distress.
Start with you.
Okay, Your Honor, I've known Katrina for over 20 years. We knew each other when we were teenagers. We lived next door to each other. I was there when her mom died. I was there for the birth of most of her kids. We've always lived really close together. In 2006, I made a big mistake and I slept with her husband.
Wow. How did that happen? I mean, who hit on who?
It was a mutual.
At the same time, at the exact same time? At the same time, yeah. I want you. Let's rehearse it. I want you. That's what happened. Mutual. Somebody hit on the other one. Go ahead, ma'am.
So it was a big mistake. I'm not the same person.
How many times was it a mistake?
Over about a year.
Yeah, it wasn't a mistake. That was intentional. It was a mistake once. The rest of it was intentional.
That's a lot of I want yous.
Yeah, right. A year worth of I want yous. Go ahead, I'm not going to pass judgment. I'm going to administer a judgment, not pass judgment on you, but just trying to stick up for her a little bit because she's a pretty significant victim here, unless she was with your husband, too.
At one point.
Did they say it at the same time?
I don't know.
Did y'all say it at the same time?
No, it wasn't even like that.
Who hit on who first?
He hit on me.
He hit on you?
Yeah, but
You made your mistake. How many years of mistake?
Actually, ask her because it was when I was younger, when we were younger. I
Oh,
was
not
16,
while you all were married.
No.
All right, and what else you want me to know? 06, you made a mistake.
Yes.
All right.
So shortly after that, I moved away and we kind of lost contact after that. In 2012, I had found out that she got shot, and I was really worried about her because we were friends for so long. I decided to get in contact with her. We talked on the phone, and I wanted to go meet with her so I could see how she was doing and to apologize to her. I wanted to apologize to her face because I really did mean it. So we agreed, and I went out there, drove 3 hours to go see her. I sat down with her. I told her I'm not the same person. I'm really sorry. I really am. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to do.
You accept that?
Yes and no.
Okay.
At the time, she said she accepted it. We hung out for a while.
Afterwards?
Yeah. I was at her house for about 3 days. And that's when all of this happened with the money.
All right. Just always curious how, I guess it's convenience or something, and then you're around a person and you get the chemistry or something. Because I'm always curious about if you want to cheat, out of all the people in the world, you pick your best friend's mate. Just always been curious of that. Let me hear from you.
Well, I've known her since 1992. We lived next door to each other. 96, actually, she introduced me to my husband at that time. We got married. I've always assumed that they were messing around since 2000.
Really?
Yeah, a woman knows.
What gave you that impression?
Oh, because when I would ask him, he would get angry. She would deny it.
What made you ask?
Because they were always together. Always. They were like, she'd pick him up, take him places. She would, when I'm
Where
at
would
work.
you be?
At work. She'd be at my house. He would leave my kids alone to go be with her, go to concerts, go to the fair. 2006, my son was 12. I called on the phone, took him the phone, he walked in, and I can't even explain what he saw, but you can't take that back. My son told me 2 weeks later in tears. Did they admit to it? No, said my son was lying. She was always in my face. 2007, she was next to my hospital bed and I was about to have a baby. They left, went somewhere. They went to the bank, but didn't come back for a couple hours. I mean, it was always ongoing. I always assumed. And when I found out, confirmed in 06 through my son, it's like, what can I say? She was like my sister to me. A marriage was destroyed. My kids, nothing has ever been the same. So when she called me in 2012 to apologize, I agreed to it. Yeah, I did accept it at first, and then when she came up, the boyfriend that I was with at the time had gotten in some trouble. A couple days after I got shot, she happened to be there and I needed a cosigner. So she co-signed for me. I did say, yeah, don't trip. I'll make sure the payments get paid.
Okay, and that's what we hear about? Mm-hmm. Co-signing for a bond?
Yes.
And you believe you were going to get paid?
No.
Huh?
I went up there just to visit and apologize.
But
I
did
didn't
you
know.
believe after what you did that she would pay you some money back?
Well, she wasn't supposed to pay me. She was supposed to pay the bond company, and I thought she would.
Oh. Okay. So what happened with your money?
I got a call a couple weeks later from the bond company saying that no payments were ever made, and so they were coming after me for the money. I then called her, and she said she'd take care of it, and so I stopped getting the calls, and I assumed that it was taken care of.
All right, and last time you spoke with her about it was when?
It was 2012.
And what did she say? That's when she said, okay, I'll take care of it. That's
Right.
the last discussion. Ma'am?
I just didn't take care of it.
Why?
Why? For what she did to me. She was like my sister.
See the common sense
She was like my sister.
that most people would have about that, ma'am. That was your second mistake, to put your money at risk with this woman.
I didn't want to do it. I felt bad at the time and had just apologized to her, so I felt really on the spot, and that's why I agreed to do it.
Okay. That's all you wanted is $3,000? You done now?
Well,
You
I
can
mean,
give me $3,000 a month.
well, if that was the case, no, I mean, it's like this. What happened, happened. It's the past. And I understand that.
You didn't give her the money then.
No.
You say it's
She
in the
can't-
past.
she can't-
What
she-
happened,
well, no,
happened.
no.
It's in the
Well, no,
past.
but
Like, that's
she-
behind me. Then let's
No,
get
but
this
she
money
can't-
that's in front of you.
No. Well, you can't take back a child crying to you, saying what he saw, the images that he saw. You can't take that back. You can't take back, the friendship that was broken, the trust. I mean, because of her, I trust nobody, no female. No woman's allowed in my house. No woman's allowed around my boyfriend, nothing. Because I'm always on my toes because of what she did to me. I mean, I trusted her. She was there on the birth of most of my kids. She helped me out. I've lived with her since I was 17 years old when I legally emancipated. I mean, I was always with her, always.
What about your husband? What's the status?
I divorced him. I mean, this was one of the reasons why. I divorced him, and, I made that decision because of what was done to me. That was one of the biggest reasons.
Your counterclaim for emotional distress for $3,000. Tell me about it.
I'm countersuing her because of all the stuff that she put me through. The lies, going to my house when I'm not there, sleeping with my husband, the stuff that my son saw. You can't take none of that back. I became a very depressed person. Like, I always thought low of myself. But I did the best I could. I worked, supported my family. I even helped them out sometimes. It's crazy. But yeah, mainly
Was
because
she
of the
your
stress.
best friend?
She was like my sister. I looked at her like my sister. My kids called her Aunt Chandra. When we would meet people, oh, this is my sister Chandra. Oh, this is my sister Katrina. That's how we came off to people. We were sisters.
Well, a couple of things here. You used the right term and you sued her under the right claim, the claim of emotional distress. And what must be proven is extreme and outrageous conduct that causes one extreme distress. And I would say that had it been a stranger, perhaps even a regular friend, perhaps a relative that you're not in touch with very much. I have friends and I have best friends. Now, if my friend were to do something like that, I say, okay, he wasn't really my friend. And it's not necessarily extreme and outrageous. But if my best friend did it, a guy who I would call my brother, and it occurred at a place where my child would see that his aunt was with his dad, that's pretty extreme and outrageous. So I think it meets the test of emotional distress. What do you want to say?
I want to say after all this happened, she stayed married with him for another 3 years, and he cheated with many other females.
Many other best friends?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
But I don't believe that I was the sole reason for their marriage breakup.
She's suing you for emotional distress, saying that your conduct was so extreme and so outrageous that it caused her and her family and her children, which she had to deal with, they're her children, it caused them extreme distress. So that's what we're talking about. And she has proven to me that your extreme and outrageous conduct, which I'm going to conclude it was. I just said, all these other women he was with, they weren't her best friend. They weren't right there in her house regularly, in front of her, going out with her, introduce her to the husband. That's the difference. I'm going to hold you liable. However, ma'am, that's not a defense to the legal contract that you had agreeing to pay for the bond should you default on it, and you did, and she co-signed. So you owe her for that. So I'll grant both your judgments, and you're left with $17. Have a good day.
It's done and over with, and so I have nothing to say.
It is what it is.